This kit I'm installing came from Bart Moto. Okay, here's what came in the Bart Moto inverted fork kit. Down on this end, we've got a new axle nut with the spacer. There's spacer. There's the forks themselves. And you can see that these have the adjustment here for dampening and rebound with the recessed holes for so the stock handlebars will fit just right. Tapered roller bearings with the races. And then I also ordered the optional headlight bucket brackets in black. So this is the ears for the headlight and all the clamps. Here's the caliper for the front disc, and the new hydraulic cylinder in black with the switch. Okay, and then here's the new speedometer gear and new hub and disc brake. So much larger disc brake, so this should stop way better. Speedometer cable, and then I went ahead and ordered this bracket to raise the fender up. I may have to get a different fender, but this will adapt to these same triple tree up here, so I can raise the fender up for clearance for my tires. So that's it. Okay, so taking the factory front end off, pretty straightforward. Take the fender off first, and then take the light bucket off and speedometer bucket off. Pretty straightforward. Now you will have to snake the front brake lever and cylinder, and you'll have to get it down and go through this because it's routed through this bracket right here. But once you get enough of the stuff loose, it comes off pretty easy. Now this wiring harness, you see it's also going through this bracket, which is not reused. So that means all of this is going to have to be unplugged. But that's okay. It'll be out of the way and it won't get scratched. So I did have to use a little bit of a pry here in this gap right here to spread the shocks a little bit to get the forks out. But see, they pretty much come right out. So that's where I am right now. In order to get this stem bolt off, you're going to need a 30 millimeter. And it'll go right on there. Just like so. And here we are with the handlebars taken off. And this has got something gritty inside, which explains why turning it was like real jumpy. So I don't know if there's a ball missing in the bearings or what. Anybody that's wondering what kind of bearings are in the 2024 Ice Bear, this is them. And yeah, they're roller bearings, so they're not ball bearings. But the grease on this was absolutely horrible. It was like gum, and the bearing wouldn't rotate, and so the rollers were actually just sliding on the inner race. So when I go around a turn, it would be like jerky, it would like this, It was horrible. Probably could have just taken these off and cleaned them. You know, they seem like they're okay now. But going to be putting the Bart Moto inverted forks on, because I want a little more adjustment and a little bit beefier forks. So that's what they look like. There's several ways of getting the races out. That one's out. And this one's, you know, coming out. And what I'm using is, I'm using a pry bar that's got, you know, pretty little kink at the end there, so that it'll grab that lip, and it's made for hammering on. And then what I'm doing is I'm bringing it up like so, and then bringing it down right till it gets on that lip, and then I'm hitting it with this dead blow hammer. I'm going to continue on now that everything's disassembled and putting in the inverted shock. And so the races have been taken out, the factory ones, and so now I'm going to put in the new races. Basically they're about the same, but brand new. And so I've got the outer races in the freezer, so they'll get a little bit smaller, and now I'm going to hammer them in and get ready. Okay, so here's the race for the upper, and you can see that one side's thicker and one side's thinner, and so this is going to go in this way so that the bearing drops in from the top. And so we're ready to drop it in and see how it goes. So sounds like it's about seated. We're gonna give it a little bit more. Go with this dead blow. And now I'm gonna put this socket on, drive it a little bit more. So looks like it's seated all the way. It's not gonna go in any further, and it's sit down on this lip that's in here, so that's exactly how we want it. So let me get the bottom one and get it ready to go. Okay, I used a 1 3/6" socket, and you can see that it fits right inside there, just like it should, with a little bit of clearance. And you can see that the race is pretty much all the way in there, like it should be. So we're good to go. I did want to tell you and show you how these bearings go. This one's actually pressed on as you'll receive it, and you'll see the smaller end is facing up, and this one is going to be just the opposite, facing down. And so I wouldn't remove this one. It's a press fit, so I'm going to grease it right in place. And this one I'll grease also, and you'll see that it has a lip right here. So the diameters, the inside diameters of these two are different. So this one won't go down to the bottom. Now, you could get it on that way, but that would be incorrect. So you want the thin side facing each other. All right, here we go. So I've got this pretty much greased up. Got a lot of extra on there. I'll smooth it out a little bit right now, but it's got it in there pretty good. So I think it's good to go. And then I've got the upper bearing ready to go. So slide this in. And drop this down, just like so. And then put the nut on with the dust shield. Out a little bit more. Okay. Oh, much better. Much better. Let me get some of this extra off. Much better. That's much, much better. Okay. So let me tighten that up and I'll come back. Okay, one thing you're going to want to do, got the shocks on, went pretty good. Tighten this up. I'll readjust it after I ride it for a little bit. Got the triple tree on. Got the nut on. Put the headlight and speedometer brackets on. Got that tightened in. Got everything lined up. And then, even though I knew about it, I forgot to run the brake through. So the brake's got to go through this part of the fork, and if you don't do that before you put this shock on, you won't get that through. So I had to take it apart and fix my mistake, and so just wanted to point that out. Other thing I want to point out is, let's see if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. This is the new axle bolt, and let me show you. This is the original IceBear, and you can see that both the diameter of the bolt and the nut is quite a bit larger. So feeling pretty good about this. And the other thing I kind of want to point out is, now that we've got this sitting here handy, it's the size of these shocks. Now you're going to see that this shock is quite a bit larger in diameter, and you know, about the same length, but much larger in diameter. So that equates to a little stiffer front end. It's going to work. And oh, by the way, these new tapered roller bearings are super, super smooth. Nothing like that came on the IceBear. The IceBear grease was just shot. Brand new bike, you'd think it'd be okay, but it wasn't. So if you've got a little wonky steering going around turns and it feels a little unstable, it's probably that grease in these two bearings up here. So feeling pretty good about this. So I'm going to keep on making some progress. Okay, so I've got all the wiring wrapped up and plugged in. Everything's working. Getting to the tire. So these are the rims I put on a few weeks ago. But I wanted to show you this. This is the difference in the brake disc. This one is about 6 inches in diameter, and this one's about 8.5. So you can see there's quite a bit of difference between these two. So this one is going to provide a whole lot more braking power, which is good. Okay, here we are, all buttoned up. There's two things. One is my IceBear fender will not clear mounting down here, and it's too close here, and this is where the shock travels, so it would definitely will need to get a different fender that mounts up here higher. And two, the rear view mirror on this side is not reverse thread, it's clockwise. So that means my ice bear mirror for that side will not screw in. So I'll have to get a new set of mirrors so they both thread the same direction. But other than that, it's ready to test drive tomorrow as soon as it warms up a little bit. And we'll see how that goes. Here it is. There's the front end. Brake. And yes, this is a working gas gauge and gear shift indicator. Okay, fender's on its way.